There's a strange paradox at the heart of modern life. We're told that success comes from doing more, working harder, moving faster, filling every moment with productivity. But what if the secret to a richer, more meaningful life is actually the opposite? What if the path to real success, deep peace, and lasting clarity isn't found in the noise and the hustle, but in the quiet spaces we've learned to fear? Today, we're going to explore something that might change the way you see everything, the art of doing less, and how stillness can lead you to the success you've been chasing all along. Before we dive deeper into this journey together, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. This isn't just about numbers or algorithms. It's about building a community of people who are searching for something more meaningful than the constant rush. By subscribing, you're choosing to explore these ideas with us, to slow down and think deeply about what really matters. So if that resonates with you, hit that subscribe button. It helps us continue creating these conversations, and it means you'll never miss a video that might be exactly what you need to hear. Now let's talk about something we all feel but rarely admit. We're exhausted, not just physically tired, but mentally and spiritually drained. A study published in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology found that over 70% of workers experience burnout symptoms, and the World Health Organization now recognizes burnout as an occupational phenomenon affecting millions worldwide. We're living in an age where being busy has become a badge of honor, where rest is seen as laziness, and where the idea of doing nothing feels almost sinful. But here's what the ancient philosophers knew, and what modern psychology is now confirming. This constant motion isn't making us more successful. It's making us sick. It's stealing our joy, clouding our judgment, and keeping us from the very things we're working so hard to achieve. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote nearly 2,000 years ago, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." He wasn't talking about being more productive in the modern sense. He was talking about how we fill our lives with meaningless activity, with noise and distraction, instead of focusing on what truly matters. We mistake motion for progress and busyness for purpose. Think about your own life for a moment. How many hours do you spend each day doing things that don't really matter? Scrolling through social media, worrying about things you can't control, rushing from one task to another without ever stopping to ask why. We've become so afraid of stillness that we've forgotten how to be present with ourselves. And in that absence of presence, we lose touch with who we really are and what we really want. The ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, understood this deeply. He wrote in the Tao Te Ching, "Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself?" This is the essence of Wu Wei, the concept of effortless action. It's not about doing nothing. It's about not forcing, not pushing, not exhausting yourself trying to control everything. It's about allowing life to unfold, trusting that clarity comes from stillness, not from constant striving. If you're finding this perspective refreshing, go ahead and leave a like on this video. It helps others discover these ideas too, and it lets me know that this message is resonating with you. Modern psychology has caught up to what these ancient thinkers knew intuitively. Cognitive behavioral therapy, one of the most effective therapeutic approaches we have today, teaches us that our thoughts create our reality. When we're constantly busy, constantly moving, we don't have time to examine our thoughts. We react instead of respond. We operate on autopilot, driven by anxiety and habit rather than intention and wisdom. CBT encourages us to pause, to observe our thoughts without judgment, and to recognize that we have the power to choose how we respond to life. This is remarkably similar to what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the practice of anticipating challenges and preparing our minds to meet them with calm and reason. Both approaches teach us that the quality of our inner life determines the quality of our outer experience. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was one of the most powerful men in the world. Yet he understood that true power comes not from controlling everything around you, but from mastering your own mind. And that mastery requires stillness. It requires the courage to stop, to reflect, to be alone with your thoughts. There's a beautiful Zen story that illustrates this perfectly. A student once approached a Zen master and said, "Master, I am seeking enlightenment. What should I do?" The master replied, "Have you eaten your breakfast?" The student said yes. The master then said, "Then wash your bowl." The student was confused, expecting some profound teaching or complex practice. But the master was teaching the most profound lesson of all. Enlightenment isn't found in doing more, in seeking something outside yourself. It's found in being fully present with whatever you're doing right now, even something as simple as washing a bowl. We've lost this art of presence. We eat while scrolling through our phones. We work while thinking about 100 other things. We're physically in one place, but mentally scattered across a dozen different worries and distractions. And then we wonder why we feel so disconnected, so unfulfilled, so exhausted. Research from Harvard University found that people spend almost 50% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're currently doing. And this mind-wandering typically makes them unhappy. We're literally missing half of our lives because we're not present for them. The art of doing less isn't about being lazy or unambitious. It's about being here, now, fully engaged with this moment, this task, this breath. I want to pause here and say something important. This channel is a safe space for everyone, no matter where you come from, what you believe, or what you're going through. Whether you're struggling with anxiety, burnout, depression, or you're simply searching for more meaning in your life, you're welcome here. We have many videos exploring these themes: peace, clarity, wisdom, and the art of living well. So take your time, explore, and know that you're not alone in this journey. Now let's talk about what happens when we actually embrace stillness. When we give ourselves permission to do less, something remarkable occurs. We start to see clearly. We start to hear that quiet voice inside us that knows what we really need, what we really want, what really matters. The Buddha taught that peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. All the rushing around, all the doing and achieving and accumulating, none of it will bring you peace if you haven't cultivated it within yourself first. And here's the beautiful irony. When you stop chasing success so desperately, when you allow yourself to rest and reflect and simply be, you often become more successful in the ways that actually matter. You make better decisions because you're thinking clearly. You build better relationships because you're actually present with people. You do better work because you're focused and intentional rather than scattered and reactive. A study published in the journal Psychological Science found that taking breaks and allowing the mind to rest actually improves problem-solving abilities and creativity. When we're constantly working, our brains don't have time to process information, make connections, or generate new ideas. It's in the quiet moments, the spaces between activity, that insight emerges. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught his students, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Notice the order. First, stillness. First, clarity about who you are and what you want. Then action, not the other way around. We've gotten it backwards. We act first, constantly, frantically, and then wonder why we feel lost and unfulfilled. Think about the last time you made a really good decision in your life. Chances are, It didn't come from a place of stress and hurry. It came from a place of calm, of clarity, of knowing. That's what stillness gives us. It gives us access to our own wisdom. If this is making sense to you, drop a comment below and share your own experience with stillness or busyness. Have you noticed how rest affects your clarity? Do you struggle to slow down? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I know others in this community would benefit from your perspective too. Let me share another story with you. There was once a woodcutter who worked tirelessly every day, cutting down trees from dawn until dusk. He took pride in his work ethic, never stopping, never resting. But over time, he noticed that he was cutting fewer and fewer trees each day, even though he was working just as hard. A wise old man watched him struggling and finally said, "Why don't you stop and sharpen your axe?" The woodcutter replied, "I don't have time to stop. I have too much work to do." The old man smiled and walked away, and the woodcutter continued his exhausting, inefficient labor. This is most of us. We're so busy cutting that we never stop to sharpen our tools. We're so focused on doing that, we never pause to consider whether we're doing the right things or doing them in the right way. Stillness is how we sharpen our axe. Rest is how we restore our effectiveness. Doing less is often how we accomplish more. Modern neuroscience supports this ancient wisdom. Research shows that our brains have two primary modes: the task, positive network, which activates when we're focused on external tasks, and the default mode network, which activates during rest and mind wandering. The default mode network is crucial for self-reflection, memory consolidation, and creative thinking. When we never rest, we never activate this network, and we lose access to these essential cognitive functions. In other words, your brain literally needs you to do less. It needs stillness to function optimally. This isn't weakness or laziness. It's biology. It's wisdom. It's how we're designed to work. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not the past, not the future, not the endless list of things you think you should be doing. Just here, just now." When you're fully present, you realize that this moment is actually enough. You are enough. You don't need to prove anything or achieve anything to be worthy of rest, of peace, of simply existing. CBT teaches a similar principle through mindfulness practices. By bringing our attention to the present moment without judgment, we reduce anxiety and depression. We stop catastrophizing about the future or ruminating about the past. We find that most of our suffering exists in our thoughts about what might happen or what has happened, not in what's actually happening right now. Lao Tzu said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." Look at a tree. It doesn't stress about growing. It doesn't compare itself to other trees or worry about whether it's being productive enough. It simply grows in its own time, according to its own nature. And in that unhurried growth, it becomes exactly what it's meant to be. What if you trusted yourself the way a tree trusts its own growth? What if you believed that you don't have to force and push and exhaust yourself to become who you're meant to be? What if you could simply be and allow your life to unfold naturally, with intention but without desperation? I know this isn't easy. We live in a culture that constantly tells us we're not doing enough, not achieving enough, not enough, period. Social media shows us everyone else's highlight reels, making us feel like we're falling behind. The economy demands more and more from us. Our own inner critics tell us that rest is selfish, or that we haven't earned it yet. But here's what I want you to understand. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to earn peace. You don't have to earn the right to simply exist without constantly producing. Your worth isn't measured by your productivity. Your value isn't determined by how busy you are. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Not when you achieve the next goal, Not when you finally have enough money or success or recognition. Now. This moment, this breath, this is where life is actually happening. If you're still with me, and if these ideas are speaking to something deep inside you, I want to gently remind you to subscribe if you haven't yet. These conversations matter, and having you as part of this community means we can continue exploring what it means to live well, to find peace, to discover wisdom in a chaotic world. So what does the art of doing less actually look like in practice? It starts with permission. Give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Give yourself permission to say no to things that don't serve you. Give yourself permission to have empty space in your calendar, in your day, in your mind. It means being intentional about what you say yes to. The Stoics taught us to focus on what's within our control and let go of what isn't. Most of what we worry about, most of what we busy ourselves with, is outside our control. We can't control what others think of us, whether we'll succeed or fail, what will happen tomorrow. But we can control our own thoughts, our own actions, our own responses. When we focus our energy there, we stop wasting it on everything else. It means creating rituals of stillness. Maybe it's 10 minutes of meditation each morning. Maybe it's a walk without your phone. Maybe it's sitting with a cup of tea and doing nothing else, just sitting, just being. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities. They're how you maintain your sanity and your soul in a world that's constantly trying to pull you in 1,000 directions. It means learning to be comfortable with silence, with solitude, with your own company. The Buddha spent years in meditation before his enlightenment. Jesus went into the desert for 40 days. Muhammad retreated to a cave. Every great spiritual teacher understood that wisdom comes from within, and you can only access it when you're still enough to hear it. A study from the University of Virginia found that many people would rather give themselves electric shocks than sit alone with their thoughts for 15 minutes. We've become so uncomfortable with stillness that we'd literally rather experience pain than silence. But that discomfort is exactly why we need stillness. It's in that uncomfortable space that we meet ourselves, that we process our emotions, that we grow. CBT teaches us to sit with uncomfortable feelings rather than avoiding them. When we're constantly busy, we're often running from something: anxiety, sadness, emptiness, fear. But those feelings don't go away just because we ignore them. They accumulate, they intensify, they eventually overwhelm us. Stillness gives us the courage to face what we're feeling, to understand it, and to move through it. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And you can only react wisely, calmly, intentionally, if you've cultivated that capacity through stillness. When you're always in motion, you're always in reaction mode. You're controlled by circumstances, by other people, by your own unchecked thoughts and emotions. Stillness gives you back your power." Let me ask you something, and I really want you to think about this. What would your life look like if you weren't afraid of doing less? What would change if you trusted that you're enough right now, without all the striving and proving? What would you let go of? What would you make space for? Leave a comment and share your answer. Sometimes just articulating these thoughts helps us see what we really want, what we're really afraid of, and what we might be ready to change. The art of doing less isn't about giving up on your dreams or becoming passive. It's about understanding that real success, the kind that brings genuine happiness and fulfillment, comes from alignment, not from exhaustion. It comes from doing the right things with full presence and intention, not from doing everything frantically and half-heartedly. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Not in your achievements, not in your possessions, not in other people's opinions of you. In your own mind, in your own peace." in your own ability to be present and grateful for what is, rather than constantly anxious about what isn't. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want to leave you with one final thought. In a world that profits from your self-doubt, from your anxiety, from your constant feeling that you're not enough and you need to do more, choosing stillness is a radical act. Choosing to do less is a form of rebellion. Choosing peace over productivity is choosing yourself over a system that will gladly consume you if you let it. You are not a machine. You are not meant to run constantly until you break down. You are a human being, and being is just as important as doing. Maybe more important, because all the doing in the world won't matter if you've lost yourself in the process. So, take a breath, slow down, give yourself permission to rest, to reflect, to simply be. Trust that in the stillness, you'll find the clarity you've been searching for. Trust that in doing less, you'll discover what really matters. Trust that you are enough, exactly as you are, right now, in this moment. The art of doing less isn't about achieving less. It's about living more, feeling more, being more fully alive in each precious moment you're given, and finding that the success you've been chasing was waiting for you all along in the quiet space you were too busy to notice.